Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Gran Turismo 6 for the PlayStation 3. And before we actually begin this particular video, let me just tell you guys, this is my first ever Gran Turismo game, and I do mean first ever as in I have never played Gran Turismo before. And not only that, but also I am not that experienced in actual like racing car simulator type games, so bear that in mind and take my personal opinions with a grain of salt and judge for yourself with the footage that I'm about to show you. So before we get started talking about all the different game modes and all that stuff, because I recognize that I'm probably gonna have to spend quite a while in this menu, let's give you guys a little bit of gameplay footage just to start things off, shall we? So I'm actually going to go, as you guys saw here, I'm going to go into arcade mode. Obviously I'm not going to party play because I'm alone, all by my lonesome. I'm going to do a single race. We're going to go into world tracks, and I'm going to grab something that's, ooh, Daytona! Why the hell not? Daytona. And I'm going to be using this car over here, Mercedes-Benz AMG VGT, and you guys might be wondering, what the hell kind of car is that? I'll tell you about that once we get back, or maybe even during the race. We're going to go with intermediate because, like I said, I'm not that experienced at playing racing simulators. As a matter of fact, one could almost say I'm not that experienced in racing titles in general, but I do tend to play the occasional racing game, and I do enjoy racing games. And playing Gran Turismo 6 has actually been quite the surprising I would almost say quite the surprising adventure, because as I started playing the game, I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to truly enjoy a simulation type thing, because I'm more of an arcadey racer kind of guy when it comes to racers. And the more I played of it, I was like, I get it. I get why a lot of people enjoy this type of game. But to be completely honest, if you are passionate about Gran Turismo 6, you need to get yourself like a steering wheel, some pedals, and actually enjoy the game the way it's meant to be played. Not like what I'm doing here, because I'm playing with DualShock 3, and I can clearly tell you that this game is, even though it's designed to obviously support and works fine with DualShock 3, it is intended to be played with, it is most definitely intended to be played with a steering wheel and some pedals. Okay, so turns out that the Daytona track might be a little too simple. But anyways, as you guys can see, I'm running this wickedly cool looking car, and I will be talking about it as we progress throughout this video. But for now, just appreciate this amazing piece of machinery that I'm driving here. As a matter of fact, oh crap, whoa. As a matter of fact, oh crap, let me just try and see if I can. Ooh. Yeah, I did say that I'm not that great at racing simulators, did I not? But the thing that I wanted to show you guys is that this particular car that I'm racing is so much in a prototype stage, so to speak, that they haven't even designed the interior of it. As you can see, it's just like this black, hollow interior. Let's actually switch camera. Ooh, switching cameras whilst going full speed on a racetrack is actually a pain. There we go. So in terms of graphics, the game looks really good if you take into consideration that this game is actually running on like 7+-year-old hardware. Like I've said, and like several people have actually said, the PlayStation 3 still has quite a bit left to give us, and this title is definitely a proof of that. I mean, the title just looks great, and it's running at 1080p 60 frames a second, even though it's not native 1080p. So I don't know exactly what the native resolution of the game is. I can tell that it's not native 1080p, but it's upscaled, and it's definitely not upscaled 720p. That I can assure you, because the game looks gorgeous. I mean, just look at this. Look at this footage. This is something that I actually really like to do in this game, is just watch the replays after the race, because the replays look really good. I really like the camera angles that they work with, and I just think it looks really good. So I think the Gran Turismo has always been known for its amazing graphics and all that stuff, but it's not just about that. It's also about the gameplay itself. I have to say, and I know that I'm kind of maybe harking on a point that a lot of people have already mentioned, and people who know Gran Turismo know what it's all about. But like I said, bear in mind, this is my first Gran Turismo title, and feeling the handling of cars like in a simulation environment was just so new to me. Look at this, I'm just crashing all over the damn track. But it was such a new thing to me, because I'm just like, you know, I'm usually when I play a racer, it's kind of like binary steering. It's like I'm either steering left or I'm steering right. Very rarely do you actually play a racer where you're like, oh, I need to steer like a millimeter more to the left, and that's what this game gives you. It's like I was playing these tracks, right? These exhibition matches that they have, where I had to stay in this really tiny dirt road, and just the simple fact that I was just thinking all the time, like, this would be so much easier if I had a steering wheel, because it's really hard with the I'm like, oh my god, I murdered this car. Look at that. I utterly destroyed that car. See that Mercedes? Never ever put that car in my hands, because I will wreck it apart. Okay, let's proceed through here, and now let's actually talk a little bit more about the game, because I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of gameplay before we actually get into it, so that you guys can get a feel for the title. Obviously, the way that you actually play the game is not always going to be like that. So, for starters, I want to talk about the specific car that you guys saw me drive there. And notice that the last 3 letters of the car, you can see the selected car on the upper right corner there, Mercedes-Benz AMG VGT. The 3 last letters of the car, VGT, mean Vision Gran Turismo, which is what you can see there at the bottom. And you can also see it over here, Vision GT. So let's have a look at that, shall we? What is Vision GT? Vision GT is actually a program where the team of Gran Turismo teams up with all these brands of cars, so that they come up with a prototype car designed for Gran Turismo. And I thought that was actually a really cool idea. The first car that came out was the Mercedes-Benz AMZ. So this car doesn't actually exist, at least I don't think. They just created the prototype for Gran Turismo, and I think the car looks ridiculous. It's like really, really awesome. And if you actually go into these other brands like Alfa Romeo, they will show you like the early concepts of the car that they are working on for Gran Turismo. So this is like whatever Alfa Romeo is working on. Then you have Alpine, which I'm not even that familiar with them, but just look at this. Looks like goddamn Bat car. Let's look at something else like Nike? Jordan? What the hell? Look, this is Nike's car, which just looks like something out of a goddamn sci-fi movie. Nissan's car. I remember that I was at a presentation today where they were doing the launch event for GT, and they said something about a BMW car, and oh my god, this looks freaking amazing. Anyways, this is more, like I said, for car lovers, people who are really into cars and like actually driving cars and that kind of stuff. So what kind of options do you have for playing the game? So there's arcade mode, which I've shown you, where you basically can go, and you guys saw me play one of the cars that I own, because I actually own that Mercedes-Benz AMG VGT, because they let you have it in the Vision program. I'm not exactly sure why, but you can buy more than one car. Like, I'm not entirely sure how that works, but you can buy the car more than once, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So in arcade mode, you can basically pick from single race time trial or drift trial, which is, I'm not a big fan of drifting, like in general in other games that I've done drifting. Time trial, not the biggest fan either. And then in single race, whatever. And you can pick tracks from all around the world, and these tracks actually exist in real world. And not only that, but according to what they've told me during this presentation that I was at today, like, these real world tracks are so precise that they actually, there's like the difference between what you see in game and what actually exists in the real world might be like 1 centimeter in difference max. So that's the level of precision and detail that they've placed into creating these tracks for the game. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is that you can either choose from the cars that you own, like right now, this is the car that I have equipped, but you can also use a courtesy car when you're doing these single player tracks. So this also gives you the opportunity to test out some of the cars before you commit to actually purchasing them. Like you got some Audi, you got some Pagani. There's brands here that I never even heard of. Because, like I've told you guys, I'm not a big car person, and you guys will see when we actually go into career mode, which is going to be right now, you guys are actually going to see just how much I'm not a car person. So for starters, let's look at my garage, shall we? So these are the cars that I own. I own the Mercedes thing because they let me have it for free. I own a CRX Sir 90, which is a Honda. I own this, which is the car. They kind of force you to buy this car at the start, which to be honest kind of annoyed me a little bit, because I would prefer, look, just give me how many credits you're going to give me and let me actually pick the car that I want to drive, because I would have not picked up this Honda, but they kind of force you into it. Or maybe I wasn't able to figure out what I was supposed to do. Then this Clio, this Renault Sport Clio was something that I got from winning some race circuit or whatever. This Racing Kart Junior, same thing. This was from winning a set of, I think it was like a set, I don't know, it was like a set of mission tracks or whatever that I had to do. And then this rocket car was because I did this event, that thing that they have in the game as well, which we will get into. Can we actually see the cars in more detail? Oh, you can actually sell cars. I honestly didn't even know that. Like, I want to sell this piece of crap right here. How much is this worth? Wow. Scumbags. I won't sell it for that. I paid like 3 times as much. Man, this car lost so much value in a couple of hours. Anyways. I thought you could actually see your cars in more detail. I guess not. Change car. Move to stockyard. Add to favorites. No, I want to change to this. Oh yeah, my CRX. So why do I have the CRX, and why am I even using the CRX? Oh, you can actually go into car information if we want. You can also go to free run, which is for you to test out your car, test out your upgrades and all that stuff. But to be honest, I just tend to test out my upgrades when I'm in the racetrack, because that's just the way I roll. But why do I have a CRX? It's because when it comes to non-exotic cars, I always liked one specific car, and that was the CRX. And when it comes to exotic cars, one of my favorite cars ever is the Lamborghini Countach. And that is something that this game gives you an opportunity to kind of satisfy those desires that you have of owning cars that you're never going to own. Not that it's hard to buy a Honda CRX. It's just I've never owned one, because I never owned one there. So and I always thought that it was a cool looking car. So I went as soon as I got into the game and I was like, okay, I want to pick the car that I'm going to drive. I just went straight into Honda, and I'm like, I want to get that CRX. And yeah, it's somewhere here. Yeah, it's this one. So I bought it, and then I started like putting all kinds of performance parts on it, because you can, like, if you go over here to tuning parts, you can change your tires. As a matter of fact, this is interesting because I just had to buy a bunch of tires for my car, because like, I thought I could do the sports tires thing or whatever for one track, and I couldn't. Then I had to buy whatever. I'm an idiot when it comes to that stuff. As a matter of fact, I was just like, look, I was doing these races where you couldn't even wear these tires, and I'm like, oh man, I like these freaking racing tires. That's what I'm gonna put in my car, like racing medium, boom, let's go. And then I couldn't use the tires for the race. Then you can also change out your suspension, you can change out your brake kits, you can do all kinds of performance upgrade to your car. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I plan on doing to my CRX is we're gonna put some friggin' nitrous on this car. It's gonna be like a goddamn rocket by the time I'm done with it. It's like I'm gonna floor the car and it's gonna fly to the moon or something. Anyways, like I said, I told you guys, I'm not that knowledgeable about cars, so I know that what I'm doing is probably completely out of the norm. But for those of you that actually want to get, you know, like the maximum performance out of your cars for the type of career races that you're doing, You should check out recommended cars because they actually tell you which kind of cars are recommended for each thing. Like for instance, right now I'm running National B, so the recommended cars would be this Suzuki, this Honda, this, oh man, this car looks good, this Lotus car. I'm kind of a sucker for Lotus as well. There's this Chevy. Anyways, these would be the recommended cars, which obviously I'm not using anything like this. I'm using the CRX. But there's over 1,200 cars that you can pick from different manufacturers all around the world. So I think that's really cool. There's just a lot of variety in there for you to check out stuff and whatnot. But let's get to career mode. How does career mode work? So right now I'm here, and career mode has these races that you can do, and each time that you race you're going to get money, and then you can invest that money either in a new car or in upgrading your current car. Now, as you guys, like I told you guys, I've been pretty much dumping all of my money into the crappy looking, see, it's not even crappy looking, I like the way the car looks. I'm just saying, like, when you compare it design wise to some of the cars that are in this game, it's probably not one of the most attractive looking cars. Either way, let's go into a race over here. These particular races that I'm doing right now are 5-minute races, which means you just race for 5 minutes, and whoever's on first on the last lap of those 5 minutes, that's the one who wins. So I've been playing pretty much a lot of career mode when it comes down to GT6, because I find the career mode to be one of the more satisfying modes. And even though I've played a lot of it, I feel that there's still so much more to do. Like, I'm only in National B, like I told you guys. There's so many more. Like career. What do you call these? Circuits, leagues. There's so many more of those that I feel that there's just so much more content to explore still. So, like I said, bear in mind this is first impressions and not an actual review per se. Now, you guys are probably looking at this, those of you who aren't familiar with GT, as I was at the start of the game, and you guys are like, what the hell is that thing, like, on the middle of the road? Those blue and white things, what is that? This is what they call the drive guideline. I'm not 100% sure if that is the name or not, but basically this tells you what is the best route for you to take when you're in order to achieve, like, you know, the best performance out of not to achieve the best performance out of the car, but to achieve your best possible performance on the track. This is like this suggested route. You'll also notice that every now and then it will go red. This means that this is a good point where you should brake because you're going too fast to make bends or whatever. So it's kind of like an aid, and it's on by default. I did not went and like turned it on or anything, but it is on by default. And to be honest, I almost feel like this is training wheels, because I'm not exactly sure if I would be able to even play this game to the level that I'm playing it right now, which even still is not really that competitive. But I'm not sure if I would be even able to play at the level that I'm playing right now without this goddamn guideline over here. But you can turn it off. Like, you can actually go into options if you want. And I don't even know what this is. Blind spot indicator, button navigation. Where is it? I know that it's... Can't you turn it on while... Oh, here it is. Driving line. You can turn it on. And there. Now I'm probably going to crash the crap out of this car. Or maybe not. Actually, I never tried, like, racing with the damn thing off. But to be honest, I think I might just try that, because I think I spend maybe even too much time looking at the damn driving line. But the thing is, there are some really wicked turns in this game, and the driving line really helps you make the best out of the track and try and reach the best possible times and whatnot. So, I mean, but then again, that's a personal opinion. There's also other driving assists for people that, you know, that don't feel comfortable playing a simulator like this. There's a lot of driving assists. There's even one that prevents your car from oversteering, because like I said, I was saying that other racers, you know, like the more arcadey racers will go, and it's like you will almost several times you will be like binary steering, which is like you either steer left or right, like full left or full right, and you won't really need to, you know, just like steer just a little bit, and you'll just steer all the way to one side or the other. And in this title, it definitely does not work like that. Like, there are times where you will do binary, like what I was doing right now, but most of the time, you will want to, you know, just steer in small increments. And I've noticed that in certain situations when I would just, like, you know, I would resort to the knowledge that I have from playing those other games, and all of a sudden, like, my car, I would totally lose control of it, like what I just did now, due to the simple fact that I was doing that binary turning. So it is important to keep those things in mind. But yeah, you have aids for that, in case... The way that I just said aids sounded so wrong, but you have helping, you have whatever, assistance for that, should you not really be that into the whole racing simulator thing. But to be honest, I actually do like racing simulators. I would not expect to like GT6 as much as I'm liking. And for racing car enthusiasts, I can only imagine like how much they adore this game. As a matter of fact, I remember some time ago when I used to work at this company, there was this guy who really is into racing cars and driving and all that good stuff. And he used to tell me all the time that he didn't own a console. And he was like, "Man, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 3, and I'm gonna get, like, at the time I think it was GT5 or whatever. When it comes out, and it's gonna be amazing." He used to tell me about this all the time, and I was like, "Man, those types of games aren't really my style." That would be kind of my reply to when he said this. And this guy was just like talking with me about GT all the time, and I never got it. And now I kind of do, because like I said, I didn't think I would enjoy this type of simulation game, but I do. It's a different experience for me, and I do like it. However, I would enjoy it a whole lot more if I had like a racing wheel, because I can tell that, for instance, for the track that I'm doing right now, it doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to show you another type of racing event where, like, because right here in this track, you guys see me like going off the track and doing all kinds of, you know, stuff that I really shouldn't be doing. Like, you will see me go off-road and whatnot, and in these like exhibition tracks, if you go off-road, it's like, nope, it's over, you lost, start again, try again. And for those tracks are the ones that I'm like, no, I really do need like a precision steering wheel to get this particular track done. And yeah. Now, something that I haven't mentioned yet is the sound, and I have to say that the sound in this game is really, really good, because, like, for instance, the car that I'm driving, the CRX, like, when I started playing with the CRX, it was just like, you know, stock stuff, and you could hear like the normal sound of the car and all that stuff. And as I started adding performance parts to it, like every time I would like change the engine or add a new exhaust or do like anything that would improve like the power of the car, that would actually mess about with the performance, torque, whatever, like the car would start sounding a little bit different, be it in turns, be it in the acceleration, the revving of the engine. And I was just like really surprised by the amount of detail, because let's face it, how many people that buy Gran Turismo are going to be playing a CRX? It's just a car that I think that it does not have that much mass appeal, so to speak. And I was surprised with the amount of options that I had in terms of performance upgrades and stuff like that for the car, and how the sounds changed, the handling changed. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know how these guys do this, because it just like takes ridiculous amounts of research and whatnot. But yeah, the game is just straight up solid as far as I can tell. And like I said, I'm not very experienced in racing games, and definitely not experienced at all when it comes to car simulations like this. Because if you guys look at the upper left corner, it says driving simulator. It doesn't say like arcade racer or something apocalypse, because you guys know that I love Motorstorm Apocalypse. But you can see that it doesn't say anything like that in the title. It's just like driving simulator. And again, it's a very precise game, and it does seem to handle as these cars would handle in reality. The one thing that obviously doesn't handle like that, it seems to me like it's the bumping and whatnot. Doesn't seem very realistic, like when you hit other cars and other cars hit you. But that's because they focus more on the rest of it, on the rest of the experience, like on the way that your car actually handles on a track. I mean, just look at the way that even it goes as far as the suspension. I mean, just look at this. You can see the suspension bouncing up and down, and it's just so much detail. Anyways, let's get back, because I could be talking about this for God knows how long. And at the end of every race, you're going to earn credits. And earning credits is actually something that it's cool that you're always earning credits, and with these credits you can either upgrade your car or buy new cars and whatnot. But GT6 has actually done something that I feel the need to harshly criticize, because I am strongly against this. And I realize that it's kind of something that's been slowly starting to ingrain itself into the industry, even when you pay full price for a game. And I've always been against it, and I'm still against it, which is this GT store. You guys are like, huh? What's that? What's a GT store? Oh, the hell is this? Oh, okay, it seems that I have to restart the game. Okay, so I can't show you guys this in the video, but basically it's very easy for me to tell you what's there. The reason why there's been an update, by the way, is because I've been playing since midnight, and the game releases today at midnight. So the game has released since I started playing, and there's probably been a patch or something. But either way, oops, did I just click it again? I'm an idiot. What you have in there is a microtransaction store, where you can actually buy the in-game credits that you see over there on the upper right corner of my screen, and you can buy those for real-life money. Now, I can't tell you the exact numbers on it, but I think it's like 500,000 credits is like $5. No, 5 euros, sorry, which is a little bit more than $5. It's like $6-7, something like that. So 500,000 credits, I mean $5, $7 or 5 euros will get you 500,000 in-game credits, which will then allow you to, like, for instance, you can go to the dealership, and let's say, like I told you guys, I like the Lamborghini Countach. Could just come over here and buy this Lamborghini for 182,000 credits, and then put a whole bunch of performance upgrades on it. And again, this is something I don't like. During the presentation, they've stated that this is basically so that people who don't have the time to, put in and grind the actual in-game credit, so that they can go in and buy whichever car they want. I still don't agree with it. I realize that although this title is played by a much more adult audience, most likely, because, I mean, let's face it, this is a racing car simulator. It's not like some 12-year-old is going to find this all that interesting unless he's really into cars. And as I was saying, the thing about it is, though, I don't feel comfortable with the fact that there's microtransactions on a fully priced game, because it's a slippery slope, as we all know, and there's always that temptation. Let's make it a little bit harder for people to actually earn in-game credits, so that they'll feel more tempted to invest money so that they can get more credit in-game. Now, I've also done some research on it, and most people that have reviewed or have played GT6, they're claiming that the actual speed at which you can gain credit does not change from Gran Turismo 5, so therefore microtransactions shouldn't be a big issue. I still can't see myself supporting microtransactions on a fully priced game. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm an old guy or whatever. Maybe this is just a sign of the times and they are changing, but I can't, I'm sorry. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys something else, which is the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So every now and then, as you progress throughout your career mode, you're going to receive an invitation by a guy called Lord March to come over to Goodwood and do the Festival of Speed. And usually he will have a selection of cars for you to race, and these are usually pretty short races. And these are the races that I was talking about, that it's really hard to do because the racetrack is really small, and if you like exit the racetrack, it's like it's over, start over. I've done these 3, and they were pretty hard because you guys know me. Every time that there's like a classification, because for instance, for each of these tracks there's like a classification of either bronze, silver, or gold, and like you guys know me, as soon as I see something like that, I'm like, no, I can't stop playing this until I get gold. So like for instance, I probably spent like an hour or something on this track over here, and but that was also because I really enjoyed that car. That car looks really good. Anyways, let's see what this one is. Welcome to the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Take the wheel of a variety of cars. The 507 was a high-spec sports car sent out by BMW in the 1950s. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of Goodwood Festival of Speed. This also nets you money for you to spend on other stuff. And also you can grind money. Like if you find a racetrack that pays out particularly well and you feel very comfortable racing that track, you can race that track until like you're sick of it, basically. I don't know, this is a good looking classic. Like, I'm not a big cars person, but this is a good looking classic. Come on. So let's see how well I do. Oh, this is actually the same racetrack I did last time. Oh, I don't have the guideline. This is not gonna go well. And also you have to really get used to the car that you're driving if you're really going to take maximum advantage of it. This car does not seem to be as fast as the cars that I drove the last time I was on this track, so it should be fine. But as you can see, the track is pretty small, and that was why I started having... Oh crap, I hate this turn. That is why I started having problems finishing the track, because like if you exit the track, that's it, it's over. Or if you bump something a little bit too hard, that's it, it's over too. Like, look at this curve, it's insane. I just slid a little bit off there on the side, but even there. Man, this car is not that fast. Am I going to do it on the first try though? That would be way too epic. Gold on first, nope. We lost it. Still got silver though. And then this is basically what I started doing. Like when I was, when I started doing these particular events, I was like, no. I only leave here when I get gold. And the thing is, when you finish these events, like this event that I'm doing right now is actually 3 races. But when you finish all of them, and if you finish all of them in gold, you will actually gain like a prize or something. Usually they give you a car. And as you can see, you also have a ghost to see how you did previously. And there, see? Disqualified, off track. As soon as you get off the track, that's it. And I just was stuck in this event for God knows how many hours. I'm not going to repeat that. I'm going to try this one more time, and then I'm going to switch off and go to do something else. Also, something else that I wasn't aware of, because I never really did that much research into it, was the GT Academy, which I would advise anyone who is a car racing car enthusiast or whatever to check out what the GT Academy is, because I had my mind blown during today's presentation. So for starters, GT Academy is a partnership between PlayStation and Nissan. And what that partnership entails is like, I'm going to say it in a very simplified way, there's more to it than this, but basically they perform kind of like a contest where they grab the best Gran Turismo players, and those players can actually, they're basically eligible to participate in a program where they can become professional racing car drivers. And on the last GT Academy, the winner was Portuguese, and I was like, what? You're kidding me. I was like, my mind was blown. And in today's event, the Portuguese guy was actually there. His name is Miguel Faísca, which I found really interesting because his last name, Faísca, basically translates to spark. It's just like, so we have a racing car driver now whose last name is Spark. That's just awesome. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested, I'm not sure if this is only for Europe or if it also applies to the US. But like, if you guys are interested in becoming racing car drivers, you should look into whatever GT Academy is doing, because it's pretty damn awesome. Anyways, you guys have seen some of what the Goodwood Festival of Speed is all about. You've seen career mode, you've seen arcade mode. There's also multiplayer, which I haven't unlocked yet. And there's a couple of more things that you can do while you're in career mode. So let me actually show you guys that. So in career mode, there's also these things that you guys can see over here to the right, which become unlocked as you progress through that specific league or whatever that is, the National B thing. And those are mission races, coffee break challenge, and one make races. I think there's probably more variety than these. But anyways, mission races are basically like these things that you got to do, which is kind of like the race that I just did, which is usually like a short portion of a track where you have to perform a specific action. Like in this one, it is in FF cars where both the engine and drive wheels are in front. The key to skillful sector-based time trial for sports cars with FF drivetrains. Overtake your opponent and race for the finish line. So this is one of the missions that you have. And you also get money for doing this, but this is more kind of a side thing for when you're bored of doing career, or like you're stuck on a specific thing and you need money because your car isn't performing up to par, or you're just kind of sick of driving your car. They give you different cars to drive in these events so that you guys can try it out. You also get different cars when you go to the Goodwood Festival, as you guys saw that I was driving that classic cars. Sometimes they also give you these really exotic, crazy looking cars to drive on the Goodwood Festival. And you can always go to the single player and play an exotic car if you want to test it out or whatever. But there is somewhat special about you actually owning the car in career mode. At least that's the way I feel. Like, I want to unlock that Lamborghini Countach. I want my CRX to be a beast of an automobile with nitrous and all the other bells and whistles. So I'm supposed to overtake this guy in whatever short duration we have here. So let's see if we can actually do that. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can actually collide with cars as well. Okay. Sorry about that. So as you can see, these things are also made to improve your driving skills, because I mean, you guys saw me driving and I crash into stuff, I go off course, I do all kinds of stupid stuff because, again, I'm not that skilled at racing car simulators. I mean, obviously you can tell. It shouldn't be really a big news. Come on, dude. Let me pass because I'm faster. Damn it! Boom! Anyways, I'm not going to push this because it's just going to be me over and over just doing it. But, yeah. These are a couple of more activities that you can do. And then there's, what was the other thing that I wanted to show you guys? Also, you can switch, like, your car configuration while you're on the track, at least for career mode. There's also the coffee break mode, and coffee break is usually like silly things. Like, for instance, let's see what this one is. The last one that I did was, how far can you go on 1 liter of fuel? How many cones can you knock over within the time limit? Yeah, you see, it's usually silly things. So, like, for instance, this was the same thing that I did last time, but apparently it's with a different car. Basically, they just want you to knock over 300 pins. And I thought that was kind of funny. And basically, you just need to do it as fast as you possibly can. Okay, let's start. Oh, it's a Lotus. I also love Lotus cars. I need to get myself like some kind of a Lotus car. They're so pretty. Look at that. Oh wow, they're so spread out this time around though. And you can also do handbrake, which they even asked me if I wanted to buy an handbrake to circle for the first time that I was doing this particular thing. But it's all about kind of figuring out what the pattern for the patterns for the pins are, and basically trying to do it as fast as possible. Oh, this one's actually by time. How much time do I have? 30 seconds? Oh, okay. There, it was actually how many pins can I drop in 30 seconds. Okay. So yeah, these are just, you know, silly things because let's face it, there's probably when a racing car enthusiast or someone who is an enthusiast about this particular style of game, when they're playing this title, they're probably going to, you know, be playing laps to like shave off seconds and stuff like that. It can get a little bit like, I can imagine it can get a little bit tunnel vision, and this is it provides people with an escape, which I think is cool. And then in order for you to classify to do the more advanced career things, you have basically something which is kind of like a driver's license, I guess. Like for instance, right now I have to do the National A license, so I have to complete all of these things. So let's see what this is about, just the first one. But these were kind of like the mission things where they kind of tell you something that you need to do and you need to perform it in a certain amount of time. Like in this test, you'll be practicing deceleration from high speed into a tight corner. Sections like this where major changes in speed occur provide perfect passing spots during races. So this is, again, these are just things designed to improve your skill as a driver. And if you actually have the wheel and the pedals and all that stuff, this might actually translate into your skills as a driver in real life, because like I spoke about the GT Academy thing and all that, I can imagine that this, I mean, if I was into the whole racing car scene, which, I mean, I am somewhat, like, I do like cars and races and all that stuff, but I'm not like super into it to the point where like, man, no, I want to be like a race car driver or something like that. I'm not that into it. Let me just do something which is, for these tests, something that definitely helps: the driving line. I mean, for races, I'll probably be turning it off, but for these tests, it's very useful. Because, I mean, you see there, it's telling me, okay, this is where you gotta brake if you want to make this turn. Ooh, so bad, so terrible, so atrocious. Yep, not gonna get gold, not gonna get silver, but I get bronze, which is still not that good. I'm gonna redo this until I get gold. But yeah, you have to do stuff like this, a whole bunch of these in order to classify to get your license. And once you get your license, you can then move on to the next driving circuit. And as you see, you actually, despite the fact that I play a lot of the game with the CRX, you actually play with a lot of different vehicles as you go through all of the different game modes. Now I'm just thinking mentally, oh yeah, the only thing I haven't shown you guys yet is the upgrades and whatnot. So you actually have performance upgrades. I think I kind of showed the performance upgrades already. Like if you go to the upgrades of my CRX, I'm actually at stage 3 of weight loss on the car. I also have lightweight window reduction, whatnot. I have the 3 engine and a sports computer. I have a semi-racing exhaust. I have a mid-range turbo kit. All I'm missing now is a nitrous, so you can upgrade several things in your car. And if you know about cars, then you probably are like more familiar with the kind of benefit that these things would get you. So me, not so much. And not only you can do this, you can also like customize your car to the point where you have different setups, almost like in a shooter would be loadouts for your car. There's also custom parts, and custom parts is about customizing your car. Now, the car that I have is not that customizable, which was a little bit disappointing because I did want it to do some customizing on it. You can't do aero kits, you can't do flat floors, you can do rear wings, which is the thing that I hate the most about custom cars and whatnot. The thing that I hate the most is the rear wings. As a matter of fact, I believe they're commonly known as spoilers. And there's a good reason for that now. I mean, look at this. What is this, a car or a plane? I don't like these things. I went through all of them since it's the only thing I can actually customize. And I was like, I don't like a single one of them. Just leave standard, or the other one I would even consider would be no wings. Anyways, that's all you can really do for my car, but like I can switch the car. Like for instance, let's see. The Clio probably has more, because the Clio is actually a car that a lot of people do tuning on and whatnot, so it probably has some more custom parts, just to give you guys an idea. So as you can see, we have this aerodynamic kit, which changes the car. As you guys can see, let's change the view. Yeah. See, this is the standard, this is with the aerodynamic kit. And then let's say you can go to flat floors. Actually, he doesn't have flat floors, but he's got the spoilers. These goddamn ugly ass spoilers. And then there's also wheels, and wheels, we're talking about rims. I believe this is what you call these, rims. And if you go 2 inches up, in most cases, you got rims for days, baby. Rims for days. Look at this. Look at how the ridiculous amount of rims. Rims for days, okay? And you can switch these, and then you can paint them. You can change the color of the rims. You can change the color of the car. There is a really decent level of customizability. Then there's also something that I wasn't aware. Let me actually just switch my car back to the CRX, which I wasn't aware until I did some more testing, which is there is actually a pit service, which means the more you drive your car, it will eventually require you to change its oil, improve the body rigidity, restore the body rigidity, overhaul the engine. I was like, what? This is insane. You even have to wash it in order to maintain like its good looking condition, so to speak, because it becomes dirty over time. And it's just like, what? It's insane. The amount of stuff, like the amount of realism they put into the game, it's so overwhelming. There's also this photo travel thing, which I haven't even had time to do, so I don't even know what that is. There is racing gear as well. You can change the way your pilot looks. You guys haven't seen it because I haven't done a lot of replays, but in the replays you can actually see your pilot inside the car. So my pilot is actually currently sporting a black helmet as well as a black racing suit because they're cheap. Because look at this. These suits are expensive as hell. And yeah, this is Gran Turismo with as much detail as I can give you. There's also going to be apparently seasonal events, but I'll have to earn my National A license before I get to that, which I haven't completed yet, obviously because I have OCD and I need to have gold in everything. There's also paint. I'm not sure if I showed you guys paint. And paint actually has something to it, which is the more you get new cars by unlocking them, let's say by completing events and whatnot, they give you cars. And you select the color of those cars and you basically unlock new cars. Like for instance, my car is currently sporting Crystal Black Pearl, but I recently got a car and I selected solid red, so I can choose that color for my current car. So that's kind of the way it works. You can also paint the wheels if you want. Like I think this would be really dumb to do something like this, but you can paint the rims red and the car looks like ass now. There's also variable colors, which I haven't unlocked those. I suppose it's those that like change color as you're like looking from different angles. That's just insane. And yeah, this is GT6. If by now you still don't know if you enjoy this title or not, then I can't help you. In my opinion, it is a solid title, but again, my opinion is maybe not as valuable as someone who is more knowledgeable when it comes to racing car games. I think it's definitely a fun experience that I enjoyed having. I would probably have never bought this game by myself because I'm just kind of what's the proper word? I don't want to say scared, but it is kind of scared. I'm kind of scared by the whole precision driving thing, but having played it now, I have to say it's actually a lot of fun and it's not as hard as I thought. I'm also not doing manual shifting because doing that with a controller would just be ridiculous. I have no idea how I would ever achieve that. And to be honest, I actually do like stick shift in real life, but in games I'm just auto all the way. So I let the game do it for me. Either way, this has been Rurikhan with some GT6. As per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.